actual weight, and engineers must collaborate it in advance and wire it in such a way that the building goes down correctly. The bridges in New York were closed off to travelers heading inward, so how did they bring in the explosives that day, if it is assumed that they blew it up on the day of 9/11, and that they placed those explosives the same day? There were upwards of 10,000 estimated people missing. Why would someone make the decision to pull a building 400 yards away from the towers, adding to the dust and toxicity, as well as the cleanup effort? Permits are required for such an undertaking, and how was it kept so secret, especially if no one admits to it? Someone would have needed advanced knowledge of the attacks to undertake this kind of operation, seeing as how the bombs would have been needed to have been placed in advance.
I want to tell you that we are getting word from New York right now that another building has collapsed. I understand that this is a 47-story building. Do we have pictures of it? I guess that's smoke now. Correct me if I'm wrong in the control room, please. But is that smoke coming from this third collapse? Okay, that is what we're understanding, which makes sense because it looks like the sun is going down. But the heavy black smoke once again.
Look at that.
Hopefully at this point that building was empty, but I have no way of knowing that. But I'm hoping that enough people have cleared out of downtown Manhattan so that perhaps it wasn't as full as it might be normally around 5:30 on a Tuesday.
That information, of course, take a look at that right-hand side of the screen.
It's going down right now.
There it is.
Yep.
It went down right there.
The television show, The X-Files, was based around a central theme about a secret group of men who control the world through international entities. The spin-off show of The X-Files was called The Lone Gunman, which was centered around the 3 computer hacker conspiracy theorists who were the primary source of information about the secrets of these big conspiracies and controlling secret societies for the X-Files' lead characters, FBI agents Mulder and Scully.
Hold up. Something's funky here. You're telling us the government is behind this?
You're the government.
If you're anything like your father, I knew you'd want to know.
The pilot episode's story was that a military war game exercise, Scenario 12D, would be the hijacking of a commercial airliner by remote control and flying it into the World Trade Center to justify a global war on terror.
What the hell are you doing? Why can't you stay out of this? Leave me buried.
What is Scenario 12D? We know it's a war game scenario, that it has to do with airline counterterrorism. Why is that important enough to kill for?
Because it's no longer a game.
If some terrorist group wants to act out this scenario, why target you for assassination?
Depends on who your terrorists are.
The men who conceived of it in the first place. You're saying our government plans to commit a terrorist act against a domestic airline?
There you go. Indicting the entire government as usual. It's a faction. A small faction.
For what possible gain?
The Cold War's over, John. But with no clear enemy to stockpile against, the arms market's flat. But bring down a fully loaded 727 into the middle of New York City, and you'll find a dozen tin pot dictators all over the world just clamoring to take responsibility and begging to be smart-bombed.
I can't believe it. This is about increasing arms sales. Why didn't you tell the world this? Go to the press.
You think I'd still be drawing breath 30 minutes after I made that call? The press? Who's going to run this story?
We would.
This? This is birdcage liner. Wild-eyed crap right up there with Elvis as an alien and two-headed babies.
You obviously read it.
Don't be so damn naive.
In the episode, The Continuity of Government, which is a real-life Cold War network which is commonly referred to as the shadow government, would be responsible for executing this operation. The continuity of government was set up after World War II to keep the government running in the case of a nuclear holocaust or attack on Washington. Over the years, each presidential administration has expanded the powers of the continuity of government, whose members are permanent and not elected. through security threats and national events that have been, ironically, carried out by the network itself. For instance, the Iran Contra scandal was carried out by members of the continuity of government and resulted in the expansion of the powers that they could utilize. On 9/11, a continuity of government was officially initiated, and many speculate it may have played a role in the attacks. Figures in the continuity of government include well-known politicians like Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, Porter Goss, and Joe Biden. The continuity of government is classified top secret, and the public and not even Congress is allowed to review it. It is, in effect, a completely secret government that operates at the highest levels of national security, intelligence, military, and industry, with full authority to do whatever it wants without accountability. Could the X-Files spin-off show have been correct about 9/11? Well, the problem with the episode of the show is that it was aired March 4th, 2001, 6 months before 9/11.
Find anything?
The luggage hole's clear if this thing can be trusted. What'd you do, make it with your erector set?
You're absolutely sure that this is the targeted flight?
This flight was chosen primarily for its visibility. It's scheduled to pass over Manhattan on its way to Boston.
You said they intend to bring this down in the middle of New York City? What if there is no bomb?
Well, how are they going to bring it down?
The same way a dead man can drive a car.
I'm in. We got ourselves a convoy.
What's your progress?
I've hacked into the flight control system output.
With a little bit of help.
It's what the brains of the plane is telling the little black box.
Course, heading, attitude, hold, yaw, axis, stabilization. What the heck's that?
Is that what it looks like?
I think it is what it looks like.
What does what look like?
Modem protocols. Remote access. Somebody on the ground's flying your plane.
Bogey, sir.
Keep your course.
Myers, your flight's gonna make an unscheduled stop in exactly 22 minutes.
Corner of Liberty and Washington. Lower Manhattan.
World Trade Center. I'm going to crash the plane into the World Trade Center.
I'll tell the flight crew.
Dean Haglund, who played the role of Richard Ringo Langley in both series, appeared on The Alex Jones Show. Jones and Haglund talked about the Lone Gunman episode, and Haglund stated that after years of writing The X-Files, the FBI and NASA would approach Chris Carter with plots for stories. Haglund also stated that CIA agents were present at the writers' parties and often gave stories to the writers to work with. Officially, however, the writers of the episode and the series claim it was all just a coincidence.
As it said in the script, that this was to start an international war on terror. That this was, the Cold War's over, and that for the arms race to continue and keep the economy going,